We definitely enjoyed playing Pokemon Legends ZA. If you missed it, you can click on our review of the game right here. While we enjoyed this new adventure into Lumio City, we cannot help but feel that Pokemon can be so much more. Pokemon has been around for nearly 30 years, and that means more people have eyes on it, especially if they have a lot to hold up to. But we think that Game Freak can further explore the franchise and push the envelope even further. Before we go deep into it, I just want to clarify that the things I'll be talking about are my problems with Pokemon. If you still enjoy it, great, but this is just my lens as a longtime player and lover of the games. I am not a huge fan of turn-based combat, but I have enjoyed other games that feature it, the obvious one being the Pokémon series, particularly Fire Red. That said, I feel like Pokémon has gotten into a rut. Most of their games have been the same, with extra features sprinkled in, like Mega Evolutions that added some spice to the battles. Pokemon battle mechanics are simple and easy to get into, and they only made it easier as time went on. That's probably one of the main reasons most players got into the series, and why it continues to draw younger players into the franchise. It is a game for kids after all. That said, I also feel like Pokemon has been playing it safe with their stories. By that, I mean they have been very simple. There are times when this is great, welcomed even, because adding too many layers can overcomplicate a story. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Kingdom Hearts. With Pokemon, stories have become cookie cutter, and they have all blended, overlapping each other. Sure, it's a formula that's always worked, but with a franchise with an insane amount of installments both in mainline and on the side, it does start to feel a bit stale and recycled. The Pokemon Legends series has become a turning point for Pokemon. It's the first foray of Game Freak in trying to revitalize the battle system on which it built its empire. And we think Pokemon should keep working on this refreshed mechanic going forward. One thing I absolutely love about the Legends series is giving players the freedom to explore the world around them further. When this was implemented back in Arceus, I really enjoyed it and was very glad to see it return for ZA. Gone are the days when Pokemon jump out of tall grass when you just want to pass through the area. It was nice to see Pokemon in their natural habitat and learning about the food they like to lure them in. The Legend system made catching Pokemon exciting again. You get giddy when you spot a Pokemon you've been searching for in the distance, and sneaking up towards it through the tall grass further builds that anticipation. The next big Pokemon game should build on what Legend started, not only in exploration, which we will delve into later, but also in the revitalized battle system. The new Legends battle system demands more of your attention than the usual turn-based fare. The rinse and repeat nature of simple turn-based combat across countless games can be exhaustive, especially to a veteran Pokemon player. A game that enhances turn-based combat for us is Game of the Year nominee Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Yes, we've heard the internet. Clair Obscur takes the turn-based system and breathes new life into it through simple yet effective means. They don't bastardize or overcomplicate the combat system until it's wholly unrecognizable, but take the bare bones of it and add a new element to heighten the stakes and keep its players alert. We mentioned in our review that we hope to see more turn-based games incorporate mechanical skill and reaction time into the classic turn-based system. We also discussed how Clair Obscur didn't fix the mechanic, but rather added gameplay diversity in the turn-based space. At the end of the day, that is something I'd like to see in the Pokemon franchise. I'm not asking them to turn an encounter into a Pokken-style battle, although that would be cool to see. We just need a little more than gimmicks to turn the tide of battle, something that will keep us on our toes. Positioning in a Pokemon battle is crucial to winning in ZA. Running around to help your Pokemon dodge a powerful incoming attack and finding perfect blind spots to lay out your attacks on your opponent can really make or break a battle in your favor. This, I think, is a step at the right direction and should be explored further. They seem to be experimenting with it more with ZA, bringing the system from Arceus to a more modern setting. Imagine if they continue refining the system. Pokemon would have another staple game feature in their hands. They can remain faithful to the turn-based formula, but also enhance it by adding more strategic thought to it than just button mashing on your strongest attack and hoping your enemy goes down fast. Sometimes we felt like battles were more like an exchange than a battle. Yes, you trade blows, but there were times where we wished that there were more instinctive reactions for our Pokemon. I remember my poor Blastoise getting stuck in an AoE and thinking, "Roll away, my boy! Duck and roll!" We wish that there were more command options available to really feel like we trained our Pokemon well, not just level them up, especially if it seems like common sense for your Pokemon to get out of the way of an incoming Fire Blast. The many regions in Pokemon are filled with beautiful cities and nature. So of course, we'd want to see more of that and shape the world around us. Pokemon should keep field moves in their newest game, like using water attacks to clear out sludge and fire-type moves to melt ice and create ice bridges. They should also bring back Pokemon rides like in Arceus, or even just a bike. The bike would have been so good for ZA, because running shoes can only take you so far, especially if you're chasing after the day and night cycle in-game. Plus, imagine biking through the Paris-inspired streets on a bright and early morning. Talk about a missed scenic opportunity. While we did enjoy ZA, one gripe I had with Game Freak was that some of the wild zones felt sidelined. There was a big emphasis on the wild zones, but with the story and other in-game stuff to do, I often felt like I forgot the wild zones existed. I want exploration to be even more interactive, really make players feel like they're part of the world and not just bystanders. But how can we when we see a beautiful stretch of grasslands or a picturesque nook in a bustling city and all we can do is take the sights in, walk around, and suddenly go, so now what? We love seeing how real-life places continue to inspire Pokemon's newest regions. But we also want to feel like we're part of the world and its culture too, really experiencing how each region is unique from the other. Pokemon is not just about catching them all. It's about adventure, push, exploration. It's been a tradition for every Pokemon game to have new Pokemon. I mean, it makes sense. You're in uncharted territory. Of course you'd encounter an animal shaped like a teacup. These games also have a tradition of bringing back Pokemon from previous generations, and we hope that they can bring back some of the more forgotten ones, or Pokemon who have been sidelined. Whether it's their base forms or another variant, new evolutions, or mega evolutions or not, why not take it back to the basics? We miss a lot of the Pokemon from Gen 1, like Nidoran and its evolutions, Kabuto/Kabutops, Parasect, Hitmonlee/Hitmonchan, and the Omastar. From Gen 2, what about Furret, Noctowl, Magcargo, Xatu, Granbull and Octillery? Gen 3, Mightyena, Shiftry, Exploud, Wailord, Torkoal, Seviper, and Walrein. Gotta catch 'em all isn't going to be as fulfilling when you can't even catch everyone on the national dex. And yes, there are so many Pokemon right now, which was inevitable given the numerous games under the franchise. But even with the tradition of adding 100 more species with each new region, we don't really need more right now. Of course, we want to see new legendaries exclusive to new regions, but why not also maximize the already extensive national dexes? Pokemon consistently delivers the classic stuff they are known for, but sometimes, all we get in the end feels like the basics or a retake that may strike us uninspired. I'm looking at you, Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. I don't want to discount the players who enjoyed those games, but Sinnoh is one of the most beloved regions they've ever had, taking the gaming world by the horns with the then-new Nintendo DS tech. But the remake mostly felt like a reskin to me, and we just hoped that they did more with one of the then most anticipated titles. We also understand that Pokemon is meant for all ages, which means certain themes and ideas may be automatically iffy to place on the table. But if we can handle the trauma of Mufasa's death in The Lion King crying to a pillow in our grandparents' living room, the kids now can handle a few hard-hitting, dramatic, emotional things in Pokemon. We see hints of bold choices that can be further pushed in the game. Jacine's story comes to mind, how she just throws money everywhere to get what she wants without considering the people around her. You can definitely bring out some commentary on social issues. Not that Pokemon should solely be hyperactive in addressing social commentary, but Pokemon's regions are based on real places and real cultures. We're not asking Game Freak to traumatize a generation the same way that Transformers the movie did back in the day. If you know, you know. But older gen Pokemon have not shied away from more mature themes sprinkled in their games. Think Cubone lore from the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town all the way back in Kanto. Suicune, Entei, and Raikou from Johto canonically perished in a fire that beset Brass Tower and reincarnated them as the legendary dogs. Dark themes. We want feels, tension, drama. Pikachu crying over Ash who had turned to stone and Mewtwo strikes back. Give us parting is sweet sorrow. Like in the anime episode Bye Bye Butterfree. We want to feel moved by Pokemon because it's natural. Pokemon are our companions, partnerships forged by strong bonds. We want to feel that connection with them even further. We all love Pokemon. However, we also want to see them really push the envelope, even more so now that so many games already exist. We're hoping that working with the new Legend system is getting what they need to expand further how Pokemon can be. So far, people are loving the new system. So imagine if Pokemon keeps on refining it. We hope that this will push Pokemon to keep on expanding and being brave with making new choices. Do you think Pokemon can further push the envelope after the release of Pokemon Legends ZA? Let us know in the comments below. For more gaming content, check out our channel. And if you're on the lookout for guides on Legends ZA and other games, check out our gaming walkthroughs channel over at Game8 Global Walkthroughs. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.